It's 9 a.m. You studied for this. You went through every note. You told yourself, this time I'm ready. The paper lands on your desk. You look at question 1, and your brain? Nothing. Blank. Your hand shoots to your phone before you've even thought about it. You need a prompt. You need the answer. You need something, anything to get you started. But there's no signal, no internet, no AI. And right there, in that one moment, everything you thought you knew falls apart. Not because the question is hard, because you never actually learned how to think without a machine doing it for you.
Summarize this. Solve this problem. Write this essay. Finish my homework. Explain this concept.
You didn't fail this exam today. You failed it months ago, in your bedroom at midnight, every single time you opened the chat instead of sitting with the struggle. And here's the part that should scare you. You had no idea it was happening. Stay with me, because what just happened to you has a name, and once you hear it, you will never look at AI the same way again. It's called cognitive offloading, brain drain. It's what happens when you outsource your thinking so often to your phone, to Google, to AI, that your brain quietly stops doing the work itself. Deep inside your brain is a region called the hippocampus. Think of it as your brain's filing system. Its entire job is to take what you just learned and burn it into long-term memory. But it only does that job only when things are hard, when you struggle, when you get stuck, when the answer doesn't come easy and you actually have to fight for it. That uncomfortable feeling of, I don't know this, that is not the obstacle to learning. That is the learning. Psychologists call this desirable difficulty. The harder the struggle, the stronger the memory. Your brain literally decides what's worth keeping based on how hard you work to get it. So, what happens when AI removes the struggle entirely? A 2025 study compared 2 groups of students. One used AI to study, one didn't. Weeks later, the AI group had forgotten significantly more. Not just learned less, forgot faster. And the younger the student, the worse it got. That's just the memory side. What AI is doing to your ability to actually think, that's a whole other problem. And it's darker. See, your brain runs on one core rule: conserve energy wherever possible. Scientists call this cognitive load theory. Your brain is always looking for the easier path. If it can hand a job off to something else, it will, every time, without asking you. For most of human history, that was actually brilliant. It kept us sharp where it mattered. It kept us alive. But now? Now there's an AI that will write your essay, solve your problem set, and summarize 3 textbook chapters in about 4 seconds flat. And your brain looks at that and says, perfect, I'm out. Think of it like this. Every time you properly learn something, really sit with it, struggle with it, figure it out, you're saving a file onto your own hard drive. But every time AI does it for you, you skip the save. You just borrow the file from someone else's server. The assignment gets done, the grade looks fine, everything seems okay. Until the Wi-Fi goes down, and your own hard drive is empty. But here's the part that makes this truly dangerous. You don't feel empty. You feel capable. You feel smart because the work looks good. Here's what nobody is telling you. AI doesn't make you look bad. It makes you look brilliant. On paper, polished essays, clean arguments, confident answers. Your teacher is impressed. You're impressed. But in your head, nothing. Nothing that wasn't already there before you opened the app. Researchers have a name for this: the illusion of knowing. You feel like you understand something because the output looks like understanding, but your brain never actually built it, never ran the process, never did the work. And when this goes on long enough, it gets worse. Scientists in 2026 called it cognitive atrophy. Your thinking ability literally gets weaker from not being used, Like a muscle you never exercise. It doesn't stay the same. It shrinks. And here's the cruelest part of all of this. AI lies. Confidently. It doesn't say, "I'm not sure about this." It doesn't add a warning. It gives you smooth, clean, completely wrong information and delivers it like it's fact. You just learned something that isn't true. Now picture this. The job interview, the client meeting, the moment your boss turns to you and says, "Explain your thinking, right now, out loud, no phone." Your brain does what it always does. It waits, waiting for the prompt that isn't coming. That is the real damage, not the grade, not the assignment. It's the version of you that never got built because AI was busy building it for you. So, what do you actually do about it? 2 rules. That's it.
Rule 1. You go first. Before you open any AI, any app, any search, anything, you spend 15 minutes alone with the problem. You'll struggle. Good. That struggle is what triggers your hippocampus to actually lock the information in. Even a wrong attempt builds something real in your head. And when you finally do check AI after, the answer sticks because your brain was already hunting for it. Use AI to check your thinking, not replace it. Rule 2. Talk back to it. Don't just take what AI gives you. Write your own rough answer first. Doesn't matter if it's messy. Then use AI to tear it apart. Ask it, what did I get wrong? What am I missing? Now your brain is actually working, defending, comparing, questioning. That is called active recall, and it is the single most effective study method that exists. The students who are going to be okay, they're not the ones who prompt the best. They're the ones who can still think when the signal drops. Build the muscle, use the tool, but don't become the tool.
If you want to master the tool instead of becoming it, hit subscribe. I post every week. All right, let's be honest, it takes longer. Because unlike AI, real research takes time. See you in the next one.